A Christmas Stray is a really lovely film. If you love Christmas films and if you love dogs, you're going to enjoy this. This was released in 2021. It's directed by Roger M. Bobb and written by Tobin Addington, and this stars Andra Fuller as Ethan and Rhyon Nicole Brown as Foster. And Ethan is driving to an important work meeting, and a dog runs out in front of him on the road, and he swerves. His car gets into a bit of trouble, and he ends up in this remote little town just before Christmas. And because of no public transport going out because it's Christmas, his car's not going to be ready for a few days. He's kind of stuck there. And he takes the dog to the vet. This is Foster. And they both obviously bond together as they bond over the dog, and sparks begin to fly in the romantic aspect. The romance between Ethan and Foster, I thought, was really believable. I really enjoyed watching that develop between them. And of course, we have this absolutely beautiful dog. And the dog is in it quite a lot. And we have some other dogs here and there as well. Understandable, since one of our characters is a vet. And it's all about Ethan opening up to this new relationship and reevaluating his priorities, because up until this point, he's been focusing on business and work and those goals, and not allowing himself to actually stop and enjoy life for what it is. And it's a pretty classic narrative. Most Christmas rom-coms deal with something similar, but I think it did a great job with it. The characters are really likable, even though Ethan is, work-oriented and not really that bothered about the season of Christmas. He's still really likable from the beginning, but he does, of course, go on a journey throughout the film. And Foster was really likable as well. It's got a decent amount of Christmas in it. The dog, as I said, is just so beautiful. It's a really sweet, heartwarming story. It develops really well. The pacing is good. The characters are likable. One of my favourite characters, actually, is a character called Wallis. He's played by Michael Conde, and Wallis... Well, actually, I'll explain it in a moment with a spoiler warning, because it's just, the scene kind of blew my mind, because I've never seen that in a rom-com, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment with a spoiler warning. But for now, A Christmas Stray is a film that I really thoroughly enjoyed. It's a lovely story. Nothing seems far-fetched or over the top. No character overreacted. Every character is really likable, and there's a good amount of Christmas in it too. So needless to say, I loved it, and I definitely recommend it. So, Wallis. This is a spoiler for something that happens towards the end of the film. It is a big spoiler, as I'm going to discuss something the character does. Not Wallis, but Ethan. Wallis is actually driving Ethan out of the town at the end of the film, and Ethan's boss says to him he doesn't care about his family, he doesn't care about his client's family, he just cares about Ethan making the deal on Christmas Day. And the penny drops for Ethan that it's not worth it. And he doesn't want to work for somebody like that, and he should be focusing on what really matters at Christmas, family and love, rather than business deals. And he does the classic Christmas rom-com thing and tells his boss he quits. And that's not unusual. That's quite common in a film like this. But what's not common is a witness to the conversation. Because Wallis is driving Ethan at that time, Wallis witnesses Ethan basically telling his boss that his ways are unacceptable, and Wallis's jaw drops, and he's just in disbelief at this amazing performance that Ethan has done in front of his boss. And we never get to see that. We never get to see other people's reactions when the protagonist has that pivotal turning point and they finally stand up to somebody who has been unnecessarily controlling them, whether it's, a relative or a boss or somebody else who's been controlling them and not letting their life go in the direction it needs to. And it was just wonderful. Wallis's reaction was just absolutely fabulous, and I hadn't expected it, and it really put a smile on my face. The whole film made me smile. Really thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. A Christmas Stray is absolutely delightful, and of course it's worth checking out.